I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and there's a new EVO in Sprint's house. Move over HTC EVO 4G, you're being replaced, at least when it comes to that flagship title. Here it is, the HTC EVO 3D. This one's taking the cake as the new head of the EVO lineup on Sprint. The HTC EVO 4G is going to see a price drop. Then you have the EVO Shift, which is, a lower spec phone anyway. This one is now number one. 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon processor over here. 4.3-inch display. It's a QHD display, and it's the same size as the Sensations, even though it's not curved. Pixel count's the same as well, 540 by 960 pixels, and then of course 4G capabilities on this device as well. It ships with Android 2.3, so Gingerbread with HTC Sense 3.0, and of course it has 3D capabilities, so that's a big pro as well. 3D capabilities here, dual 5 megapixel cameras on the back, and it has a stereoscopic display, so you don't have to wear 3D glasses. Special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. They've hooked us up with a bunch of phones for use in our One Paw Bandit game, so when you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. When you get the EVO 3D, they'll help you set up everything, so when you walk out, you're ready to go and you're working. And of course, special thanks to our friends at Sprint. They are so awesome. They sent this over to us. We were one of the first sites to receive it outside of, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, places like that. So tremendous thanks to Sprint. They're good guys there, good guys and gals. But on the back here, you can see the box includes EVO 3D, USB charger, lithium-ion battery, English, Spanish Get Started guide, terms and conditions, recycling envelope, and then you can see, I thought this was pretty cool. The box is lightweight and glueless. So you can see in here, there's no glue. It's all held together by the cardboard itself. So I thought that was pretty cool, and contains 37.57% post-consumer paper, and it's printed with soy ink. So good on Sprint for making the box a little bit more eco-friendly for their new device. Now this box looks, in my opinion, much better than the EVO 4Gs. The joke was that the EVO 4Gs box looked like a TV dinner. This is a big improvement. Basically, let me put it back in here so you can see what the box looks like. And you can see there's this embossed EVO 3D on the top, and then of course you have, and let me get it close, see if you can see, you have embossed Android capacitive buttons there as well. So really classy looking box. You have this, pull that right out like that, and you have this nice colorful look on it. And then of course I already pulled the phone out. But let's see what we get in the box. We get our instruction manuals. You get them in this nice cornstarch bag. Let's get this. They're always so hard to pull apart. See what comes down here. And whoa! Almost knocked the lamp over, or knocked the spotlight over. Getting a little too excited. Let's see here. Get started. Get our recycling bag so we can recycle our old phone. Get started. All you need to know to get going. Vamos. Important information for the EVO, HTC EVO 3D. I'm sorry, I can't resist. Solo lo que tienes que saber para empezar. HTC EVO 3D Sprint, which is not in Spanish. But get the idea, that's what you get. And then of course, a USB cable. Here, typical HTC USB cable. And then typical AC adapter module here. Typical HTC one that we've seen on a bunch of past devices. We saw this in the EVO 4G as well. Typical HTC AC adapter module where the USB cable plugs in and doubles up as the actual charger as well. So it's a good device. It's well spec'd. It's got a nice battery as well. 1,730 milliamp hour battery. Now, of course, this has 3D capabilities. That's going to drain the battery more than it would if it didn't have 3D capabilities. So it'll be interesting to see how this works long term in terms of battery life. Will this be a good one? Will this be a bad one? We make it through a day with moderate use or not. But it's running Android 2.3, and it's running the same, if you saw the Sensation videos that I've shot, the unboxings, the reviews, it's running Sense 3.0, which is what the Sensation runs as well. That said, there's more memory. I believe there's 768 megabytes of RAM in the Sensation. There's 1 gigabyte in this one, and you can see it when you go over here to quick settings. You can see that the total memory on the Sensation 4G is about 556 megabytes. It's 803 over here. So about a gigabyte and 768 megabytes on each of those devices when you factor in the memory that's being used. But anyway, good looking device. It has a button over here, shortcut button to the camera, which you know how much I love my camera shortcut buttons. And then of course you can toggle between 2D and 3D camera mode, as you can see over here. It's a little bit thicker. It's not as, and I keep comparing this to the Sensation just because the Sensation was the flagship device and is a flagship HTC device. This is probably going to take the cake when it comes out on the 24th. So it's a little bit thicker and a little bit bulkier and not as curved, it doesn't feel as svelte in the hand. But I love the color schemes. It has a nice texturized battery door back here. You have your dual 3D cameras here, 5 megapixel dual 3D cameras. and then you have a nice look up here, a look and feel. Now you can notice if you have the old EVO, and I don't believe I have it out on the table right now. Let me look on my desk and see if I have one I can compare to show you. I don't think I do. Yeah, I do. Here we go. Good. You can see the difference between the old EVO and the new EVO. It's a little bit longer, a little skinnier versus being shorter and stubbier on the old EVO 4G. So it's a little bit longer, easier to hold in the hand in my opinion, and easier to talk on because the microphone comes down further. But anyway, good look there. 3.5mm headphone jack, power button, and then your front-facing camera up top as well. So like I said, Android 2.3 with HTC Sense 3.0, so you get all the benefits of the new version of Sense, including the carousel. You get all the personalization options that you see here, including scene, skin, wallpaper, and you can change the lock screen. And this device ships with HTC Hub as well, and HTC Like. So you can go on, you can get additional wallpapers, you can get additional ringtones, themes, and more. And you can see all these changes here that come with Sense 3.0, like the separate folders for frequent and downloaded, and then how it scrolls down by page instead of by individual line of applications. So you can see the quick settings are over here. So very similar in terms of the user interface, but where you get the benefit here is the 3D content. And we'll load up here and see if we can do a quick picture, quick 3D picture. We'll do that just as an example. And you have to hold it just right to get it to look 3D. And obviously, you know, anything that's too close isn't going to look 3D-ish. But it comes with a Green Hornet, so you can watch that in 3D. And then out of the box, you get the typical Sprint stuff. You get 3D games. These are some applications. When I threw in my Gmail account, it restored those for me. So ignore some of these. But NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile, Spider-Man 3D, Sprint Hotspot, Sprint Mobile Wallet, Radio, Sprint TV and Movies, Sprint Zone, and then your task manager as well. A nice benefit to Sense 3.0 is the task manager. They're kind of picking up, you know, where Samsung and others have left off with a built-in task manager as opposed to downloading something like Advanced Task Killer. So it's a cool device. It's going to go up against the Optimus 3D, which isn't available in the US just yet. So this is the second 3D device we've reviewed in the Phone Dog Labs, and it's going to go up on Sprint against the Nexus S 4G and its own, you know, older brother, the EVO 4G. In terms of power. But we'll wait and see in the full review, and we'll do quadrant standard scores, speed tests, and more to see if this is really the fastest device on Sprint. So you have to wait for those. And on that topic, much more coverage to come, or on that note rather, much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com on the HTC EVO 3D. Overall, feels good in the hand. I'll get my first impressions up as quickly as possible, so be on the lookout for those and more video coverage as well. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, rather. Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away a bunch of stuff, iPads, smartphones, and more. And a big contest is on the way. So be on the lookout for that. Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Be sure to like us. And of course, follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Let me know what you want to see in the reviews, the dog fights, what head-to-head battles you want to see, and more on this awesome 3D smartphone, which lands on Sprint on June 24th for $199.99. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.